So Mr. Kenny Omega had some interesting words this past week that got a lot of people talking. All right. You ready for this? Let's play it.
I'm going to war with these dudes that if we were on the same show together, the same show, in the same promotion, let's pretend there were no wars. Let's pretend there were no promotions. Let's just pretend there was one big promotion. If these guys were on the same show as me, they'd be in the dark match. They'd be in the opening match of my main event match. You're going to call that a war? You're going to call that competition? Go ahead. I mean, maybe it's fun for you to do. That's cool. But we're in different planets. And you're going to see that right away when you see 10,000 plus arenas sold out. You're going to see smiles on fans' faces. And when you're going to see real stars, not developmental talent, but real stars appearing on your television sets every week.
Okay, so he said, you're going to get real stars, not developmental wrestlers. You're going to get real stars on the show, and you're going to see the difference every week from the arenas to the wrestling shows to everything. But, and someone on Twitter posted an interesting little interview that Chris Jericho was in, I think a couple of months ago, where he touched on about this AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite show. And let's hear what he had to say, because he had a different little take on this.
Because we got a lot of guys to build. Because if you're going to a nationwide wrestling audience, they know Chris Jericho, they know Jim Ross, John Moxley, Dustin Rhodes. They might remember Cody, probably Cody. Other than that, there's really a whole new collection of guys. Now, of course,
oh, come on.
the wrestling fan hardcores know the Bucks and
Right.
Kenny Omega and Pentagon and Phoenix, but we now have to introduce them to a nationwide audience and get them over one by one. You can't put 40 new guys on TV and just go, here, guys, get over. We have to take our time to build everybody properly one by one.
So this is, I'm not sure how old this video is. By old, I mean 2 months. Okay, so it's a 2-month-old video where he had a different take on it, saying that a lot of these wrestlers that we're going to see on AEW, a lot of people don't know who they are. And that they may have, trouble, not trouble, but it's going to be a little bit more harder for them they're going to have to work harder every week to try to bring more fans into their show on every Wednesday night. What are your thoughts on what Kenny Omega had to say? Do you agree with him saying that nobody on NXT, anybody, could main event the card over Kenny Omega?
I mean, look, the difference in those two interviews, Kenny Omega did the interview in character, and Chris Jericho didn't.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Kenny Omega was playing a character. And of course Kenny Omega would say all that because he doesn't want to be compared to NXT. He wants to be compared to Raw and SmackDown. The bigger shows, not the third brand on the show. They want to be compared to the big shows WWE's pulling out. With Rollins, with AJ Styles, with Daniel Bryan. They want to be compared with those guys. They don't want to be compared to WWE's third brand with Adam Cole and Undisputed Era and Keith Lee and all them. No offense, but that's who they want to be compared to.
Okay. Fair point. See, Mr. Marion Watson says that's Kenny Omega's character. That came off like a regular fucking guy. It's true. Nobody on NXT on Kenny Omega's level, says Red Sox fan. Ganicus says, Kenneth is just working people over. I like how he called him Kenneth. Kenneth is just working people over. Some dude called out the Matt Riddle, and Omega said Riddle is cool. Yeah, someone else called out Matt Riddle. Mr. Dominic
called out Riddle?
No, he called out Kenny Omega.
Oh, I thought you said Riddle.
Dominic Dijakovic. I just want to call him Dijak.
Yeah.
Says, hey, Kenny Omega. Remember when my match with Real Keith Lee embarrassed yours on PWG Homecoming weekend of Bola 2017? Tune in this Wednesday to NXT TV on the USA at 8 p.m. so two developmental guys can show a real star how it's done again. Nice, right? Now, hey, I'm liking the back and forth. I'm liking it. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun because he wants to go out there and say that we're going to put on a great match, and they might, they probably will, but is it really going to matter? Really, because the big matchups, what you want to see get put on, are when they go head to head. So right now you're doing all this and putting on some good ratings when you have no competition at all on a Wednesday night. So do all this. We can all talk about this till we're all blue in the face. Until we start seeing both shows really drawing big numbers, that's when it's going to be something.
Dijak been sitting for too long. Time for him to speak up. Guys, please tell me you believe this isn't a huge work. See, don't Vince Russo me, bro. I don't think WWE and AEW are in cahoots. Like, that would be... I would be flabbergasted if that was if that came out years later, that they were working together to this whole scheme to get wrestling to be, super huge again. I don't think it's that. I do think maybe the friendly banter is. I don't think any of that's serious. But like Dave said, I'm real interested to see if things legitimately start heating up once these guys start going head to head together. Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, Dream, Pete Dunne, the AEW roster is really lacking talent. Do you think they would have got bigger names when they have a wrestling show on a major network? Wow. Do you disagree with that, Dave? Do you feel like AEW has big enough stars to bring in people to watch their show each week?
Well, Jericho even said on the little clip you played that they do have some stars that are... This is no different than the WCW thing. Hogan and Piper, Nash, the NWO were going to bring you to the show. They're going to get you to watch the show, but the other guys on the card that hopefully you're going to check them out too, like the Cruiserweight division back in the day, and they're the ones that are going to keep you watching the show. That's what you got to do. You got to have the Jerichos, Dustin, Cody, even Kenny, to bring you to watch the show, or Moxley, I should say, too, would help you come into the show, but you need the other guys there to keep you watching.
Trades between AEW and WWE, bold prediction. Imagine that. This may be a dumb question, but does Triple H want to monopolize wrestling like Vince? I don't know. I don't know much about Triple H to say if he would or not.
He does.
I think
he definitely does.
I think he does, though. To me, it's way too convenient that they bring each other up all the time. Back in the Monday Night War, the Fed very rarely ever brought it. See, it's not WWE that's bringing up AEW. It's AEW taking shots at WWE. You didn't hear anything. You didn't hear Triple H say anything towards AEW, and he hasn't.
He kind of did.
When? What did he say?
He said, "I want you guys." No, not talking about at the live show or the past week. Well, he's kind of saying, "I want you guys in the foxhole with me." Well, you usually have people in the foxhole with you for a war.
Okay,
and he's basically saying it's a war without mentioning, AEW by name, but they're basically saying, I want you guys all to be loud. This is your brand. Do all this crap. He basically is mentioning AEW without mentioning them. It's kind of like that.
Okay, fair point. That's a good point there, Dave. I really didn't even think about that. What do you think is who do you think is great women wrestler in pro wrestling today? Tessa Blanchard or Charlotte Flair? I would say Tessa Blanchard over Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair does better promos, but I think in ring I would say Tessa Blanchard. Stop being a reasonable dude for real. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. A WWE lifer. Okay. Anything else, Red Sox fan? He told Billy they will put them. Yeah, I know he said that, but he hasn't really. If you're Red Sox fan, I get it. You're an AEW mark, but to say they haven't taken shots at WWE more than WWE has taken at AEW is fucking ridiculous. On the YouTube channel, they make comments about them all the damn time, all the time. Calling Triple H, naming the horse, Hunter Horse Helmsley. Oh, that's not a shot at WWE. That's just a random nickname, right? that they just came out with out of the blue? Oh, we're not going to add another triple threat match because that's what the WWE does. Oh, that's not a fucking gentle jab at the WWE? I mean, the Heart 24/7 title. What a fucking stupid title. That's not a shot at the WWE. Like, what else is he? Do you need to fucking write it on the fucking wall and show it to you? Like, goddamn. It's
taking shots at Bailey.
Taking shots at Bailey. Like, what the fuck? Stop being a fucking hypocrite. Seriously. I don't mind being AEW and WWE fans. We're one of them. We're just seeing it down the fucking middle. You know, I don't care if AEW takes shots at WWE. They should. They should want to put WWE out of business. If this is a legit war, they should want to be on the top. But it gets to the fucking point to how often are you going to mention WWE? Because to me, that shows you that they're in your fucking head. Seriously. And like, what else? They make shots at WWE every chance they can get. If it's not a funny little jab or if it's serious. Like, I know Kenny Omega was maybe in character, but did he have to say what he had to say about NXT and how none of them would main event a show with him, or most of them would be on the dark matches? If I'm a guy on NXT, I would take that as a fucking shot, and I would not like that. No, that's not why you're called an AEW mark, Red Sox fan. An AEW mark is someone who thinks AEW does zero wrong. Zero. And I have never seen you say one fucking negative comment about AEW. They can shit gold in your eyes. I'm just saying. And I apologize. I don't mean to be going off on everything. I'm not an AEW hater. I'm not a WWE hater. Whatever. I want to see good wrestling. That's all. But don't come in here and say that we only touch on WWE and I'm a WWE lifer, because it's absolute bullshit. I do my best to watch as much wrestling as I can. You know, I have a job, I have a life, I have a family. Some other times I can't watch everything. It's hard. There's a lot of wrestling in this world. And this is more coming out each year. Remember when the Bullet Club stood outside a WWE Raw and took a photo with Jimmy Jacobs, which led to him getting fired? Now he's in Impact. Oh, yes. Remember that day? Now Jimmy Jacobs is an interviewer on Impact, which is just kind of odd. So,
you know, can I say something really quick about all this?
Go ahead.
I don't understand it. We talked about it on Twitter, why all fans can't just like enjoy wrestling instead of having to make this an us versus them thing, or people can't just enjoy both of them and just get along. Who cares if you might watch AEW or you watch WWE, NXT, or whatever? It's a bunch of wrestling out there. It's a good time to be a fan right now, and just if you watch both, who cares?
Yeah, and what's wrong with me watching Raw for 3 hours on a Monday night? On a Monday night. Hello? What else am I going to do on a Monday night? I'm listening. A guy who also works nights. What am I going to do? Sit home and watch Raw, watch wrestling? Watch Monday Night Football? Hello? Jeez, man. And I get what Dave is saying as well. Why can't we like both wrestling organizations? Or 3 wrestling organizations? Or 4 or 5? Why do we have to have one that we have to pick over the other? Why can't we all just have an opinion on, some people may like another company over the other, and I think that's absolutely fine. But to say you're a WWE mark, you're a this and that, just because we pick one company over the other, that's a little bit foolish and childish, in my opinion. Who cares if my team doesn't play on Monday Night Football? It's obviously, we know why. They fucking suck. I know they suck. The Lions are not doing well. They're struggling too. Obviously, teams that are not doing well are not going to be on Monday Night Football. Right, Dave? Right. I'm not taking a shot at your Lions. I'm just saying, teams like our teams are not going to be on Monday Night Football every week. You can't say good things about both companies because you're still going to be looked as a WWE mark. Yep, Dave, it's because if people say good things about WWE, you're classified as a WWE mark. Yep, absolutely. It's
And if you criticize AEW, you're a WWE marker and AEW hater.
It's a high school mentality between AEW and WWE. You can only like one. You can only like one. And music telling someone their music sucks because it's not your genre. It's fucking lame. Red Sox fan is a perfect example of it. Boom. He says, dude, Bucks are beating the Giants tomorrow. Please don't jinx my Bucks. Please.
Dude, they're playing against a rookie quarterback.
Please.
They better beat them.
Yeah, but crazier shit has happened, and they have nothing to lose.
And I think Apter's going to be tweeting me tomorrow, too.
Oh, yeah, you got the Eagles. That's a tough matchup. I just hope that in the end, Impact stands high atop the mountain of wrestling with Ace Austin.
In the wheelchair?
Oh, go Stros. Hey, man, look at that. Hey, you know what? I don't make this a baseball talk, and Red Sox fans going to hate this. But, man, it's impressive what the Astros have done. Seriously. I'm not trying to make this because we have our top 10. We're almost done, everybody. Our top 10 list is the last thing we'll do tonight. 3 straight years getting over 100 wins? Wow. Hats off, my friends, to the Astros.
Hey, you know what? Hey, they didn't do what we did this year. We lost 100 games this year, so screw you.
That's something that's hard to do, Dave.
We got we're only 4 more losses away from the number 1 draft pick. Go Tigers!
I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. Our quarterback sucks. I feel your pain, brother. I feel your pain. A lot of people are upset that some wrestlers don't appear on television, but sometimes they make some time off from WWE to take a look at Ronda Rousey, who is still taking time off. Same thing goes with Finn Balor, Kairi Sane, and Asuka. Yeah, but then when they finally show up, everybody's all happy and excited. So,
yep, everyone's gonna come back and everyone's like, "Oh."
Now, yeah. I don't think they have announced anything for Monday Night Raw, have they, Dave? That we've missed?
I don't. I'm sure they have by now. You would think at least something, but maybe not. I don't know.
I don't think they've announced any matches or anything in particular that's going on Monday night, but I'm sure they will by the time tomorrow hits. Nothing for SmackDown either. I'm sure we'll get some type of rebuttal from Kofi Kingston about the whole Brock Lesnar because everybody 2 weeks away. I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to do this schedule with the shows. I haven't thought about maybe going live. Instead of going live Wednesday nights, we'll go live Thursday nights. I just don't know what to do. I don't want to go live I don't want to oversaturate everybody with our show. It's gonna take some thinking of how we're gonna schedule these shows out, especially with Friday with SmackDown Live and the Impact watch parties. But we'll figure something out by at least next week. And the poll about doing Tuesday night recap shows for Raw will be out this week as well. Excuse me. No segments or matches this week for Raw and SmackDown have been announced.